Okay. Yeah, you can take over.
Okay. Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. So I hope everybody see the left side in screen. And do you anybody knows the story of Vyasa and Ganesha?
I think they wrote the Mahabharata.
Correct. So one of the things that obviously Mahabharata, and apart from Mahabharata, all the Vedas, as I said earlier, right, that all the Vedas were divided into the four sections. And there's an interesting story where Vyasa Muni, they said that there is no intelligent person who can understand my shloka and write it as fast as possible. In a sense that I'm going to speak the shloka and somebody has to scribe it right away. So he asked Ganesha to help. And Ganesha said, I can write, but only on the one condition that I will not stop. That puts Vyasa into a sort of a discomfort here. If I need to get up for something or if I need to do something in between, what would I do? So what he thought is that after 1, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever the time, he gave condition to Ganesha that I agree with your condition, but you need to understand the shloka first and then write it. तो बीच बीच में व्यास जी क्या करते थे कि कॉम्प्लिकेटेड श्लोका डाल देते थे विच पुट्स गणेशा इनटू लाइक कपल ऑफ मिनट्स हियर एंड देयर ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड द श्लोका और बाद में वो अपना काम करके चले जाते थे. सो दिस स्टोरी इज रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ गुरु गम्य मुखा इन अ सेंस कि जब गुरु बोलते हैं तब स्टूडेंट्स हैज टू टेक नोट्स. First of all, understand and take the notes. Sometimes people, what do people do? Just like write the notes and then go back and then try to study it. So this representation of the story with the Guru Gamya Mukha is the Jyotish Gurukul. And one of the practice as all the students that we should follow over all the lectures, you need to get one pen and paper with you all the time. Whoever is taking the lectures, either me, Ajit ji, or Bhavesh ji, or even Jitu Uncle, or whatever they are saying during the lectures, you should start taking the notes with your hand. One of the mantra is, as I said, and the next left-hand side on your screen is, I'm going to speak it first, and then you can repeat after me, is Vyam Ved Vyasai Namah.
Vyam Ved Vyasai Namah.
The second side of the mantra, it is all very well-known mantra. It is a Dwadash Akshari mantra, is a Krishna mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Om Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Now come to, what is the meaning of Tattva? No, Tattva is like the pure element, which representation all the characteristics of something. So there is something called Tattva mantra. And the Tattva mantra goes like this, that Om, then there is a name, and at the end of it, it's called Nama. So if we want some knowledge out of anything, we should say Tattva mantra. It is very basic mantra. At this stage of the learning, I think we should only stick with the Tattva mantra for at least for a couple of lectures. And then we'll startly, growingly increase the mantra that you can incorporate into your spiritual learning. The first Tattva mantra that we already said is Vyam Ved Vyasai Nama. So we want the knowledge of Vyasa to come down to us. And which knowledge? The Jyotish knowledge, the astrology knowledge, the Vedas knowledge, which is the pure form of Shiva, all the Vedas. So we want that knowledge to come down to us. And who is going to bring that knowledge to us in our life? we have all different kind of teachers in our life, right? And those are the gurus who can facilitate the transformation or transmitting that knowledge from them to us. So that is why we bow down to our guru always, and it is a guru tattva mantra, and we should chant it 12 times. And I'll explain you why we are going to do it 12 times. How many rashis are there in our kundli or chart? 12, right? So we are placing guru in each rashi by chanting 12 times. That means that we want the knowledge and the resources of that rashi to come to us. So we are going to do 12 times. Starting with, I'm going to show you how to do it. You know, we have like 4 fingers. The first finger, like there's a 3 lines. So 1, 2, 3. Then we go to the ring finger. 4, 5, 6. Then we go to the little finger. 7, 8, 9. And at last we come to the middle finger. 10, 11, 12. This is one way of doing it. There is another way of doing it that we will show it to you next time. But let's start with Om Guruve Namah 12 times by counting on your fingers. Om Guruve Namah. 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 Om
Guruve Namah. Om Guruve Namah.
Om Guruve Namah. Om
Guruve Namah. Om Guruve Namah.
So by doing this, we are placing Guru, which is a representation of the ultimate knowledge. We are placing it into the 12 Rashi, and we want that knowledge of the Rashi to come to us. And that is the science of Jyotish. As we say, the knowledge is the pure form of Shiva. It is the dot on the Om, where you put like A, U, Ma, Nada, and Bindu. That Bindu is the representation of the Sadashiva, which is the ultimate form of the knowledge. And from that dot, the universe is expanding. From that dot, the universe has been created. What does that mean? That knowledge is omniscient. That means it exists at all the time. But over the time, over the yuga cycles, over the so many years that has been passed through, the comprehension power of the human brain, that changes with the fabric of that time scale. And we will go through that, how that time scale is experienced by humans who live in the Bhuloka. But there are other lokas, and the difference or the experience of the time is completely different from their perspective. So in order to understand that knowledge, we need to meditate on it. Lot of meditation on it. Meditation in a sense is that we need to think about it in a different layers, different ways. Just put that one sentence or whatever that comes, you're thinking about, let's say, Rashi, and then think about the meaning of the Rashi. What does Mesha indicate? Look at your surroundings and try to comprehend that is something related to it, because the nature is talking to us always. And we need to transform that information into the knowledge. And that is, information is Mercury, knowledge is Jupiter. And over the time, we'll also learn that Mercury debilitate in the Jupiter signs in the Pisces. What does that indicate? Debility only means being humble. So a student, a shishya has to be humble at the feet of the guru in order to have I lost you guys?
No,
No,
I
I
have.
can hear you.
No, all good.
All good? Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Yeah. So in order to get the knowledge and retain the knowledge, we need to become humble like a Mercury. And that is the highest yoga of Jupiter and Mercury. It is called the Bhagavad Gita Yoga, which is also symbolic of Krishna and Arjuna, where Krishna is the Jupiter and Arjuna is Mercury. So in the Kurukshetra, Arjun has to become humble. He was a warrior, but he has to become humble in order to get the Gita Upadesha. So how we are going to approach this study, the entire study, over the 3 years time frame, right? There has to be some steps that you all need to incorporate while studying this. That whatever the lectures we are taking it, you should at least listen 3 times. Why 3 times? You need to become a retrograde. Once you become a retrograde, that means you are being stubborn in a sense that you will at least try 3 times to understand. Each time you listen, the new meaning will come out. That is 101% sure. The first time you are only listening with your conscious mind. The second time, when you are listening after taking notes, your subconscious mind will trigger it. And you try to associate the different parts of the surroundings to that knowledge or the lecture that we are, or the topic that we have introduced in that particular time. And the third time, it will start to make sense. So at least listen to 3 times. If you don't get any, ideas, or sometimes people do get stuck, sometimes people do not understand the concept, there will be a WhatsApp study group where we all can, put their queries, and we'll try to address it in a way that you can understand. Sometimes we may not answer because it will be a ahead of the time question, but over the time, believe me that all of your questions will be answered. Most of them will come to you automatically. You just need to give it a time. Very, very important thing that I would like to say, and I have learned it from my personal experience, and this is my guru says all the time, do not obsess over your personal chart. You will be biased. It doesn't hurt to look at your chart, that's fine. But if you are studying, the Jyotish, if you are studying the astrology and applying the principles, do not apply first in your chart. Always start with Bhagwan Ram or the Krishna's chart, and then the other prominent figures in the world. We will have those examples in the next lectures, over probably in this lecture given the time. But my request to all of you, पर्सनल चार्ट बाद में जाके स्टडी करो, सबसे पहले प्रिंसिपल कॉन्सेप्ट को अंडरस्टैंड करो, एंड देन यू कैन अप्लाई. The second thing is, when somebody is speaking, let's say either me or Jitu Bhai or Bhavesh ji or Ajit ji, you all have come into this lecture or future lectures with some preconceived knowledge. तो जो आपने कहीं पे भी पढ़ा होगा, कहीं से भी सीखा हुआ होगा. If somebody is saying something related to astrology, some topic being discussed, all of a sudden your mind will correlate to the old knowledge that you have studied somewhere else. At that time, just keep it there. Do not correlate. Try not to correlate with that thing. Listen to what we are saying. Listen to the lectures again. Otherwise, your knowledge will clutter and you will be confused all over again. And then everything will become a jumble mumble. And then you will become frustrated. Okay, I'm not getting the point. So my request, all of the previous learning, just keep it. It's not going to go away. Just keep it on the side of the brain. But the knowledge that we are going to apply or we are going to learn in these 3 years, focus on that. And in order to do that, we all need to strengthen our buddhi. And who is the giver of the buddhi? Or all the di? Is Lord Ganesha, right? And once we get the knowledge, it's important for us to sustain it, to retain it. And for that, we need to worship Ganesha. There are 4 types of di we are going to cover. Buddhi, Shuddhi, Vriddhi, and Siddhi. But at this moment, in the first lecture, we are only going to focus on Buddhi, and we need to start with the Ganesha sadhana in order to retain the knowledge, and we have to do it every day. So next couple of slides, there is a sadhana process which I'm going to explain it to you. But before that, just a little pause that if anybody has any questions or anything, that we can take a couple of minutes and then I can move forward to explaining how to do Ganesh sadhana daily.
Oh, I have one question. So,
Yes.
yeah, so just wanted to ask, so this Ganesh sadhana that you are just speaking about, so that is for all the rashis irrespective of whatever lagna rashi we have?
It will come to. So every lagna have a separate mantra.
Okay. Yeah, that answers.
Yeah.
Good question.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody? Anybody else? Okay. So some of the students who were with us in the last batches, like Alanka, Pravin, and the Ratna, but there are other students who are like absolute beginners in this class, and they may not have any idea. So I would request them to go to our website. There are like 4 to 5 different presentations and the lectures in our pre-req material section, just to get yourself familiar with the technological term that has been used. Just read it. Don't try to, make all sense of it. Just get familiarized with those words and some meanings of it. So it will help you to understand what we are going to teach over the next lecture and this lecture. Another part, do not go over the YouTube unless specified by your mentors and your gurus. Internet Jyotisha has become a so much, worldwide, but there are no authenticity behind a lot of stuff. They may not have the full depth of it, and without mentor and the guru explaining the things to you, you will not be able to understand. You will just sitting on this information, but you will not be able to apply it. So do not rely on Internet Jyotisha. And in order to do this, the all getting the information, retaining it, applying the knowledge, we need to incorporate mantra in our everyday practice, right? And what is mantra? You know what is the mantra bhava in our 12 houses?
Fifth house?
Correct. And why 5th house? Because it is second from the 4th house. The 4th house is the seat of the Manas, Mana, Chandra, and the 2nd house representations a sort of a protection. It is a Hari Bhava. So mantra means is Manas plus Trai. Manas and Tra means Raksha. So by doing the Sattvic mantra, we are protecting our mind to go haywire. So as soon as you wake up, before putting your feet on the floor, on the bed, first couple of mantra start with the Gayatri mantra, then Vyam, Ved Vyasaya Nama, and then Hare Rama Krishna or Hare Krishna Rama, the way how you do it. These three mantra, ideally, if you have a time, do one mala. If you don't have a time, at least 12 times before you put the feet on the earth mother, before you put your feet on the floor. You just sit on your bed, do this mantra, and you start this day. You start your day. Couple of software recommendation that, which are technically correct with the principles that, I have personally learned and others have learned is Jagannath Hora. It is free source. And the second one is a Deva Guru, Deva.Guru. There are various subscription part of it, but at this stage, I would say there is, I think, is a Hora version or Vela version. It is just $10 USD per year, and which gives you all the access to the functionality of the Vedic charts. I personally use Deva.Guru, and you will see in the next the chart that I'm going to present, that is the Deva Guru software. So that is my personal favorite. I also use Sri Jyotish Star, but I wouldn't want you to spend like $500-$600 at this time. So start with the Jagannath Hora or the Deva Guru. I believe $10 is not going to make a much of the difference in your finances. We are going to talk a lot of things in the Sanskrit language as well, because the Sanskrit language is the sound of, it is the language of the sound and the vibrations. So whenever somebody is speaking, we are breathing the air out. And with air out, we are putting the life onto the words that we are speaking. And that becomes sounds with the life. It goes to your ears. And from ears, it goes to your lagna. That is why it is very important for you to listen to the Guru. And that sound, the vibration with the life, will be processed by your lagna, by your buddhi, once you start worshipping Ganesha, and that will stays in your brain, in your lagna for a longer period of the time. And that is why the Sanskrit language is very important. It's called Devanagari Lipi. It's a Deva and Nagar. So Deva is, derived from the word Divu. It means light. It's a giver of the knowledge to guide us. So there will be so many Sanskrit words over the time of the 3 years, the mantras, etc. Even the name of the Rashi, even the name of the Bhava, even, so many other technical terms we are going to introduce so that your mind become accustomed to understand the actual meaning of the principle or the topic or the concept that we are trying to impart. English has a very limited scope of the words. These are all, first year of Ganesha. What are the topics that we are going to learn? I think you can all go to the website. You may have already gone, but these are mostly the topics that we are going to touch base upon in detail during the first year of Ganesha. And let's start with the Ganesha sadhana. So Ganesha is also called the Vignaharta, who removes the obstacles, Badha. And the Badha is created by the Rahu and the other Tamas Graha. But main primary Badhak is Rahu always. And all the Badhaka, we will learn that concept, but they act like a Rahu. And what does Rahu do? Rahu creates doubts in your mind. It always a dubious person. And Ganesha is the remover of that doubts and the evil. So that is why we are going to do it. Ganesha sits on the swastika mandal. We all know how to draw swastika, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4 dots, and then 4 ends. So there is a mantra, first of all. Take a piece of paper with the kanku or sindur. We need to draw swastika by chanting the mantra Swastikaya Namah. Repeat after me. Swastikaya Namah.
Swastikaya Namaha.
Swastikaya Namah.
If you have a temple in your home, I hope that temple is in the eastern side of your home. At the eye level, that swastik needs to be at your eye level or little bit up. It should not be down. So if you are sitting, if you have temple on the floor, then it should be above your eye level. If you are standing, it should be above your eye level. Draw on the wall of the temple or put a draw on the paper. Put that paper on the eastern side of your temple or the wall so you can sit and recite this mantra, Swastikaya Namah. Then you take asana, mat. Sit down. वहां पे बैठ के, you are looking up. Whenever you are looking up, it is a sattva guna. Whenever you are chanting any sattva mantra, let's say Om Namah Shivaya, just close your eyes and try to do it. Your head will always go automatically up. It will never go down. If you are doing any mantra where head your doesn't move, just look straight, it is the Rajas guna. And if you do any mantra and then your head goes down like this, that means it is increasing the tamas in your body and you're looking down. So always choose the sattva mantra. So that is why the swastik has to be up, so your head becomes up, your eyes are above it. Light a ghee lamp in front of the picture after sitting down. And whenever you're lighting a lamp, there is a mantra. It is Om Rum Chaitanyaya Namah. It is Rum, H-R-U-M. I have written an English translation over there as well. By whenever you are lighting a lamp, any lamp, whenever you're doing your daily puja as well, take ghee and chant this mantra whenever you're lighting. Om Rum Chaitanyaya Namah. After lighting a lamp, touch the mat, miss your asana with the middle finger and recite the asana mantra. Swastikasana Swaha. Now you are putting Ganesha on the mat as well. And then there is a Viniyoga. And Viniyoga simply means that you are asking Ganesha in a particular chanda, in a particular meter, and putting the mantra Shakti into that part, and you are asking Ganesha to come. So it will be little hard who may not know, how to read Sanskrit. So I'm going very slowly. And this looks like a very longer process, but once you get used to it, it will become very fast. Om Asya Shri Ganesha Mantrasya Mutkala Rishi Viraj Chanda Ganesho Devata Soham Bijam Swaha Shakti Mama Bhishta Siddhaye Jape Viniyoga. I'm going to repeat again. Om Asya Shri Ganesha Mantrasya Mudgala Rishi Viraj Chanda Ganesho Devata Soham Bijam Swaha Shakti Mama Bhishta Siddhaye Jape Viniyoga. Can somebody try? If anybody wants to try?
कुणाल जी, यहाँ मैं एक चीज ऐड करूंगा।
हाँ जी।
तो ये जो भी सुन रहे हैं, इस मंत्र को सुने और साथ साथ रिसाइट करें। आप जब लेक्चर की रिकॉर्डिंग सुनेंगे तो इसको साथ साथ रिसाइट करेंगे 2-3 बार, तो ऑटोमेटिकली आपको समझ आ जाएगा। So I will advise everyone to recite this mantra 2-3 times every day, then it will be by heart. Thank you, Kunal.
Absolutely. So now, why we did this? After this, that's the process called Achmanam. Achmanam is taking the water, right? It is the process of cleansing our soul whenever we are doing some good karma, like praying to the God and going to the temple, so that whatever the japa or the prayer that we are doing, we get the blessings of it. And what is the best cleansing element in the entire world? Water. Shuddha water, right? So take the little water in your right palm from a clean vessel. You have to take water in your left palm by chanting 3 mantra, which is all the 3 are Krishna mantra. Achyutaya Namah, Anantaya Namah, Govindaya Namah. You drink it, wipe the lips with the clean palm, again put the water and wash the palm. I hope you are getting it, right?
Yes.
Cool. The next part is Rishi Adi Nyasa. So it is the procedure by we are putting the bija mantra like sounds associated with this mantra, and we are putting on our certain body parts so that that mantra comes to you in your different body parts to protect it. So this is a part of now protecting your body. So there is English translation on the right side of column, and there is a Sanskrit over here, and I'm going to show you. First, touch the hole on the head by chanting Om Mudgalaya Rushe Namah Shirisi. Then touch the lips. Om Virata Chandase Namah Mukhe. Touch the heart. Om Ganraja Devtaye Namah Radhiye. Touch your private part. Om Soham Bijay Namah Guhiye. And then touch the left foot. Om Swaha Shakte Namah Padayo. And after this, it's a Sadhanga Nyasa. It is rightly done before the mantra japa for the individual lagna. So your body and the mind is going to be protected against all the evils, diseases, and suffering. So first, touch the heart and say, Om Gram Hridayaya Namah. Touch the top of the head. Om Grim Shirsai Swaha. Touch the hole, which is like soft spot on the back of your head, right? Where Shikha is. Om Grum Shikhai Vashat. Cross hands over the chest or like this. Om Graim Kaivachai Hum. 3 fingers. Middle finger is on your Agnya Chakra and 2 fingers are on your eyes like this. And Om Graum Netatrai Vaushat. And 3 times swirl your palms. Strike 3 fingers on your right hand with the right hand on the left palm. Like this. It is a fat. The sound that comes is a fat, is a astra. So you are basically taking out the evils. So Om Gra Astrai Fat. I'm going to repeat again the mantra. Om Gram Hridayaya Namah. Om Grim Shirse Swaha. Om Grum Shikhai Vashat. Om Graim Kaivachai Hum. Om Grum Netatrai Vaushat. Om Gra Astrai Fat. And last one. So individual lagna has the individual name of the Ganesha. So I hope everybody knows their lagna. Anybody who doesn't know their lagna?
Well, I don't.
I will let you know, Prashanti.
Okay. So starting from the Mesha, Vrishabha, Mithuna, Karkata, Simha, Kanya, Tula, Vrishchika, Dhanu, Makara, Kumbha, and Meena, there are 12 different forms of Ganesha. And depending upon your lagna, If you have a time, I would suggest at least do 10 mala a day. If you don't have a time, 3 mala a day. And every Shukla Chaturthi comes every month, right? Every Shukla Chaturthi, you need to do 22 mala. It is an advice. The more you do it, the more you'll be able to, strengthen your lagna, your Dishakti, and the more you will be able to, retain the knowledge. The more sadhana will help you along the way. And this sadhana is for the first year. That is why it is the year of Ganesha. And I'm going to speak or like chant every mantra for everybody's, if somebody doesn't understand how to pronounce it. So for Mesha, Aries Lagna, Om Soham Vakratundaya Swaha. For Vrishabha or Taurus Lagna, Om Soham Ekadantaya Swaha. For Mithuna or Gemini Lagna, Om Soham Kapilakshaya Swaha. Karkata or Cancer Lagna, Om Soham Gajavaktraya Swaha. Simha or Leo Lagna, Om Soham Lambodharaya Swaha. For Kanya Lagna, Om Soham Vikataya Swaha. For Tula Lagna or Libra, Om Soham Vignarajaya Swaha. For Vrishchika or Scorpio Lagna, Om Soham Dhumravarnaya Swaha. Dhanush or Sagittarius, Om Soham Bhalachandraya Swaha. Makara or Capricorn, Om Soham Vinayakaya Swaha. Kumbha or Aquarius Lagna, Om Soham Ganapataye Swaha. Meena or Pisces Lagna, Om Soham Gajananaya Swaha. So in the morning, after completing all the steps, when you are doing Ganesha sadhana, at least at that time, do 3 malas and then you get up and then you start your daily routines. Ideally, the sadhana should be done before 9 a.m. in the morning. Absolutely not after 11 a.m. After 11 a.m. is not a good time to perform any sadhana. Else you can do it in the evening time after sunset by sitting in the northeast direction. Any questions? I know it may be hard to find a time if it's not in your daily practice, but believe me that when I started doing this, it helped me a lot. This was probably 8 to 9 years ago when I joined my tradition. And before that, I was not doing any sort of puja or, going to the temple. But it changed me the way who I am today. Okay, any questions? Now we are going towards the, next couple of lectures. I'll be going to introduce, the various concepts, the name of the deities, how we are using it in our Vedic astrology or Jyotisha. Those are the initial concepts that I'm going to introduce you to. And these foundations will help you understand that how the Vedic astrology works. It is not just the planets or the nakshatra or the constellation, but there are divine energies behind it. And those are just a representation of it. And once we know how to manifest certain energy, once we know how to, if we have certain issues, certain problems, we know where to go. So this is the study of identifying, the various tools to help yourself and help your life and the others. So some of the foundations that we are going to cover it today, primarily about the Kal Purusha, the concept of the time and the space, the concept of the Brahma Vidya, Brahma, who is the original creator of the world, as we all know. And later on, the last slide is a very interesting slide that you may find it very entertaining. So we all know that astrology is not like some rishis have just written it. The astrology is part of our Vedas. It is called a part of the Veda and is one of the Vedanga. It is Jyotish Vedanga. And the Vedic Indian scriptures on your right hand side, where you see, they were divided into two parts. And among those two parts, one is Shruti, one is Smriti. Shruti means that which was heard. That means somebody must have spoken about it, right? So Brahma is the original who was speaking or chanting all the hymns of Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samveda, all the four Vedas with the four heads. But originally Brahma has the 5 heads. But Shiva has to cut one head of Brahma because after creating the universe, Brahma got an ego that I am the one who is more greater because I have created the entire world. And there was a battle between Brahma and Vishnu, that who is greater. Vishnu said that you were created from my Nabi. How can you become a more, important? How can you become more powerful? So at that time, there is a light being that appeared before them. And there was a competition between them that whoever find the peak or the bottomest part of that Jyoti, they will be the winner. Brahma started to go up. Vishnu started to go down to find the end of the Jyoti being like light. Vishnu went down, and he couldn't find anything. So he came back up and said, I couldn't find it. But Brahma, he went up and then he met a flower in between. And he asked flower to be witness that I have found the summit of this link. So he asked flower to lie. And because of that lie, Shiva took a form of Bhairava and cut his 5th head, which spoke the lie. This entire story is representation of the ego. That once we lie, once you have an ego, and that Sat or Satya will be cut off. That is why Brahma is never worshipped. There is no temple of Brahma except one, but that has also a question. But is never be worshipped. There is no mantra for Brahma because of this false ego of creation. So with these 4 heads, he spoke 4 Veda, and all of those Vedas in the sounds were captured by the rishis, and then they were written on piece of paper at that time, jo Tamra Patra bolte us time pe. But among those Vedas, there are 6 Vedanga, which are Vyakarana, Jyotish, Nirukta, Siksha, Chanda, and Kalpa. And among these 6, as a Ved Purusha, Jyotish is the eyes of the Veda. And why eyes? Because eyes gives you a sight, sight gives you a knowledge. And it is a representation of, what you see is what you get. Without vision, there is no knowledge. And that is called, it is called a Veda Chakshu. It's the knowledge of the light. Among the other, you can see it on the right-hand side, the Smritis, those were written like Itihas, the Bhagavad Gita, 18 Mahapuran, etc. They are just a Smriti, like the way it happened and somebody has written it. But Vedas are just a sounds with the vibrations. When Brahma was speaking in the sky and the rishis were meditating, they heard this and they try to put those sounds and the vibration into the letters, and that becomes a Sanskrit language. And these four Vedas are the very first Brahma's mind-born son. It is called the Manas Putra. These Manas Putra are like perfect yogi. They're like pure white light. And each one represents each different Veda. Their names are Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana, and Sanat Kumara. We will learn this four application of this four, mind-born son of Brahma in the second year, when we will be studying the Varga charts or the divisional charts. And among that is the D4. Primarily on the practical use, the D4 chart is used for the properties and the other matters. But there is another variation of the D4, which is for the Bhagya as well. And among the Bhagya, it is the knowledge, what we are going to get, what we are able to get. But is for the second year. So as I see, right, like those 6 anga of the Veda, Kalpa, Jyotisha, Vyakarana, Siksha, Nirukta, and Chanda, why there were angas, like why it has to be divided in this anga, right? So in order to understand those hymns, that shloka, and what is the meaning of it, the entire process of learning, that learning has divided into this 6 part. The kalpa is like all the Vedic rituals, that how to perform those duties and what to perform, who to perform. And that is associated with the 2 Jyotish Rutu, not Jyotish, sorry, 2 Rutus, which is Vasanta Rutu. And Vasanta Rutu is in the Pisces and the Aries. So wherever there is the Chaitra Mantha, holy time, that's when the Vasanta Rutu start. And the sun is in Aries. There is a Vasanta Rutu. When the sun, Chaitra, Posh, Maha, Phagan, when there is a Grishma Rutu, is the Taurus and Gemini, and it is associated with the Jyotish. Vyakarana, which is understanding of the words, how to properly form the Shabda, which gives the actual meaning. It is associated with the Cancer and the Leo. Siksha is actual meaning of the word, to learn the meaning of the word. It is associated with the Virgo and the Libra. Nirukta is etymology, like a different variations of the word, associated with Scorpio and the Sagittarius. And Chandas are the meter. Meter in a say is a gati. Where you see in the Sanskrit shloka, they're always either in the 8 syllable and 8 syllable into 1 line, 2 line, 3 line. So each line has like 8 syllables in it. So Gayatri Mantra is in the Gayatri Chanda. Trambakam, Mrutyunjaya Mantra is in the Anushtup Chanda. There is I would say, a Satyabhama Chandra, something like that. Don't count me on that, but it is at the 20 letters. So there is a proper meter which is associated with the syllable as well as the sound, and that is how it gives the desired results with the sound and the vibration. And the chandas are related to the Capricorn and the Aquarius. And these rashis are based on the sun's movement. It does not take into account the moon's movement yet. As you see on the top of Ira, this is sun's movement to the Rashi. And this is the responsible for the seasons of the earth. As sun goes down, like from Aries to Taurus to Gemini, this Chaitra, Maha, Phagan, Posh, Ashar, Shravan, Bhadravo, Asho, Kartak, Makshar. And this is our tropical zodiac, which is only the sun's movement. And with that, how humans have experienced the time on the earth. We are living on the Bhuloka, right? We experience the time because of the sun. कि we get up, okay, ये sunrise हो गया, sunset हो गया, अभी घर जाने का time आ गया. And this is because of the earth moving around the sun and the moon moving around the earth, and entire part is moving around the 360 degrees zodiac. And it is roughly around 24 hours, which is, we call this Hora. But is it the same if we would be living in the Swargaloka, which is outside of the solar system? What if we are living somewhere in the space? There might be a different time scale. So the concept of the time is very, very limited to our human brain when we are living in this earth plane. And it is a reference point. It is very relative to the reference point what we are taking it from the geolocation. So point is, the time, we call it a kal, and the space, they are like imperceptible. But in order for us to even try to understand it, there has to be some mechanism for which we try to put that into some format. Otherwise, they both are no starting point, no ending point. We can't even fathom to understand what exactly is out there. So the question of the generations of the world and all different philosophies. When did the creation of the universe started? Will it end? There is a black hole. There is a tons of planets out there, etc., etc. It's still going to be there. But for us to understand this knowledge, our Vedic seers has given us a concept of the Kal Purusha. And Kal has a very deeper meaning, right? It is not only a time, it is also taking a space into the account, the universe also into the account. And that is ka, and la, ka, a, la. Ka is the sound associated with the creation. It is the sound of Brahma. A, like va, Vasudevaya. A is the sustenance part of it, which is Krishna, Vishnu, or Vasudev. Krishna is way above it. I would say Vishnu or the Vasudev. And Ra is, English has a like La, but actual Sanskrit letter is Ra, or Ra, which is the dissolution. And it is associated with the Rudra. So the entire universe has a process of simultaneously happening of creation, sustenance, and the dissolution. Again, creation, sustenance, and the dissolution. And this is the Kal Purusha. And we see that Kal Purusha Kundali as Aries as a Lagna, and the all 12 Rashis along with it. So that we term it as a Kal Purusha Kundali. With that, right, we just talk about it, that if we are living on the earth and we are looking or measuring the time, it is only 24 hours, 360 days, couple of years, but it is still related to the sun's part. But imagine that we are living above the Swargaloka. Wouldn't it be completely different? So Shatapat Brahmana, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Vishnu Puran, all of our Puran has given us that our 360 days on earth, it is actually one day of Deva. And Deva on the Swarga Loka. So on the left hand side of the screen you see, which is a Bhuloka, the way we experience the time. Then there is a Bhuva Loka, which is the solar galaxy, and the Swarga Loka, which is above the solar galaxy, where the nakshatras are. So from the nakshatra point of view, it is only one day where we are going ahead by the 360 days. Now counting from that one day to the 1 year of Deva is equal to 360 years of the human. And similarly, when you see that there are 4 yuga, Kali Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Krita, or the Satya Yuga, which is 4,800 years of Deva, equals to 1.7 million years of the human. Now add up everything, all 4 yuga and the years. When we put all 4 yugas, add up, it becomes 1 Mahayuga, which is 4.3 million years. But that 1000 Mahayuga equals to 4.32 billion years. Do you know the sun's approximate age? It's somewhere around 4.3 billion years, which science has already proven. So now 1 day of Brahma, it is 1000 Mahayuga. So when Brahma awakes, he starts to creating the universe, universe after universe, universe after universe. And when Brahma sleeps, the destruction or the dissolution starts, and Rudra comes in, he starts to destroy the universes. It's called Pralaya. So 1000 Mahayuga, 1 day, which is like roughly 12 hours, if you consider from our perspective, it is called Deva Kalpa. And 1 night of Brahma, it is again 1000 Mahayuga, where Brahma sleeps. It is called the Ratri Kalpa. And when we combine day and night together, like Deva and the Ratri Kalpa, it becomes a Brahma Ahoratra. So this is just a 1 day of Brahma. Now imagine what would be the Brahma's Ayu. And it is said that we are current time frame as the 51st Brahma has taken a bomb. 14th Manvantara is the 14th Manu as is the responsible for this time frame, what we are going through. So above the Swargaloka, still there is the Mahar, Jana, Tapana, Sat. So there are Saptaloka up, there are Sapta Patala down, and they are all again mapping to the Kal Purusha Kundali. Because Kal has been created by Mahakal. He is the controller of the Kal. He is called Chakreshwara. You put like big circle of the time, it's sort of a chakra. It's a circular, it's not a linear. Linear means like it's the past, present, and future, but that future again becomes the past, then again becomes the present. It's a circular concept of the time, which is time and space. And that Mahakal is called the Chakreshwara. And there are Saptaloka, and the Gayatri Mantra itself from Rig Veda has all the 7 lokas name in it. The current version of the Gayatri Mantra, what we know as of now, is Om Bhur Bhuvasvaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. But actual Gayatri Mantra from Rig Veda is Om Bhuva, Om Bhu, Om Bhuva, Om Swarga, Om Mahar, Om Jana, Om Tapa, Om Sat, Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. That is the original Gayatri Mantra from the Rig Veda. So how do you define the time? Is there a definition? That is something. So in the simplest form, there are some of the words that I have borrowed it from my Guruji. That time is, it is some force which is impelling the things to move forward. Kalana. There's something is always moving forward. But how do you measure it? You can only measure it by the result coming out of it, which is called parinam. It does not go back, we all know. So only constant in the entire universe is time. So Bhagavad Gita says, Kala Kaletam Aham. I am the time of the calculators. Krishna says, Aham eva kshaya kalo. I am the imperishable time. महाभारत में नहीं कहते हैं मैं समय हूं, मैं काल हूं, मैं समय हूं. If you have seen the older B.R. Chopra's Mahabharata version. So by saying this, when the time is constant, but still it exists and taking a different forms in order to manifest the universe. And there are three types of time we can identify. Is Parakala, which is sort of Mahakal, is the Supreme Lord who motivates the creation, like who is responsible to create, who motivates Brahma to create the universe. Sukshma Kala, which is a very subtle time, due to which the mind comes to an existence and we start to perceive that, okay, something is going on. Your thoughts, your actions, it's your existence of your mind, in a sense. That is a Sukshma Kala. And after that, it is a Sthula Kala, and which is what we see on our Earth plane by looking at the clock. Okay, 5 minutes has gone, 10 minutes has gone, 20 minutes has gone, 1 year, 2 year, 100 years, etc., which we can measure in the unit time frame, which is again only applicable to the Earth plane, as we said earlier, right? Can we relate this 3 times to the body, mind, and the soul? The soul is the Parakala, and our soul is Sarvatma. Our soul wants to merge it with the Shiva. It has come from it through the Surya to us. Then it comes to the mind, that after soul, the mind comes. When the mind comes, it attaches to the different karmas, and then we start to perceive it something. Imagine when you are in the womb of your mother, you are still a soul, body, and mind, but you are perceiving the reality through your mother. That is the Sukshma Kala, through the mind, moon, mother. But once you've taken a birth, once you have come out, you've taken a birth and your actual Lagna has created, which is your first house, your Lagna. And that onward, your clock has started to begin. That I have 70 years of longevity, I have 80 years, I have 100 years, I have 150 years. And that perceived unit is the Sthula Kala. So entire Jyotish study is about body, soul, and mind. And these 3 important principles, body, soul, and mind, we are going to apply in a lot of principles over the time. That is why I am trying to go deep into it to make you understand is related to not only superficial level of our Bhuloka only. What we are trying to get is we are trying to go above the Swarga Loka, above the constellation. So as you can see all the 3 images at the bottom, right? That there is the ultimate soul, which is a Chakreshwara, a Shiva, a Sadashiva. He impels the time forward and it takes the Prakriti, like the energy out of it in order to put the things in the motion, which is the time. And it is started to creating the universe, the planets, the souls, then souls comes into an existence. But with that Sukshma Kala, with the mind, those souls are start to doing some karma associated with it. And that becomes a cycle of karma. They have the thoughts. Thoughts becomes actions. Actions becomes results. And as a result, you have to face again, based upon the karma siddha, again the actions of it. That is your mind. And then after, once you are taken upon, we are on the Bhuloka, that manifested time, you are going to face the results of your soul karma. And this cycle of rebirth is going all over again and again and again until we burn all our karmas and merge with the ultimate Shiva, which is the moksha. And that is the objective of the spiritual Jyotish. It is a tool to identify our karma. It is a tool that why we are facing what we are facing, why it's happening, why it's only happening to me, what did I do wrong, or what blessing do you have. This is the study that we are going to do over the next 3 years. I already talked about this, that ultimate Mahakal, from our perspective, for the human perspective, it is represented by the sun because we can see Shiva. And Kali, the Prakriti out of Shiva, which puts the things in the motion, the energy, it is the moon. It's representation of the Kali. It puts the limitation on the ever expanding universe and puts, एक बंधन डालती है. So this is the dance of the sun and moon, and it is the Jyotish. It is the dance of Purnima and Amavasya. So far, so good.
All good.
Everybody, all
All
there?
really good and
we can-
excellent.
You can give 1 minute pause and get the remark from other people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any feedback?
Because this is the base of the astrology and why astrology and how. Before, if you understand this one, the whole Jyotisha we can understand. Badoria ji, how you like it? Mic open your. Anybody?
After a long time, I heard all these things through Kunal bhai. Okay, before before long back, I heard all these things through a gentleman.
Sounds like you're interested in products designed for people with longer backs. Here are a few things that.
Sorry. पदौरा जी आप बोल रहे थे कुछ?
हाँ, मैं ये बोला था बहुत पहले ये सब सुना था कभी, बराबर है, अब वापस एक बार रिपीट हुआ है.
भूल गए थे.
और पहले सब सुना हुआ था, ये वापस रिपीट हुआ आज सारे के सारा. ये कल्प और ये सब चीजें मंत्र ही मनहत रही ते मंत्र.
This is all the knowledge that is given to us by my Guruji. Guruji ने वही बोला है कि जो मैं दे रहा हूँ वो आगे pass on करो. So that is what we all are doing.
Yes.
Without mantra, we cannot do anything.
Every we know second house is the house of feeding. Okay. So, or sustaining the first house, second house is always sustain the previous one. So, man is sustaining by the mantra. So I become pleased after listening you. Okay. I was far away from Ahmedabad. Just I arrived. As you completed this, it is nice lecture. But every
We have to listen 3-4 times
3-4 times. Okay.
to
And
understand.
once Gayatri Devi ji came in Ahmedabad, she told us, if you want to become an astrologer, it takes only 2 years. Okay. But if you want a good astrologer, it takes 10 years. Okay. So this is the process. Okay. It is a process like a cheese. Okay. Cheese means paneer take very few minutes to create paneer. But if you want to create a cheese, it took a 6 month duration. Likewise. So everybody is telling nowadays, as Kunal has told us, that don't go to YouTube listening and YouTube watching. You will get,
Yes,
everybody is telling
confused.
that if you want to become an astrologer, within 5 minutes, I say you become a good astrologer. Okay, but it is not so. Astrology, learning of astrology is one kind of sadhana. Sadhana means it's required lot of time, lot of patience.
And this is the right way to understand, to start the sadhana with the Ganesha.
Yeah. Okay.
You
And
understand this one. So,
we know that. We know that each and
but
every.
everybody has to understand now.
Yes.
So,
तो
thank you very
रोहिणी जी,
much. All good.
रोहिणी जी,
Any
आप
other
बताइए।
people?
One more thing. What I want to ask to Kunal ji. Hello.
Yes, yes.
What is Guru, that software? Hello.
It is
Can
a
you give screen of that software?
It's a web-based software is deva.guru. I will send you the link or the
Deva.guru.
deva.guru.
It is better than Parasalite.
Yeah.
101%.
That's why I wanted to ask. So we shouldn't use Parashara Light anymore. Focus on the two that you mentioned.
Yeah, I would suggest use Deva Guru or Jagannath Hora. My personal recommendation, Deva Guru.
Okay. Devaguru is just web-based, right? It looks like.
Yeah, it's a web-based.
Web-based, yeah.
So you can do it on your phone, tablet, anywhere.
Page. Hello? Hello?
Yes.
हाँ जी, मोहन जी, रोहिणी।
I have a question. जैसे हम कोई अगर कार्य करते हैं या we are trying to maybe send in a paper to the bank or anything छोटा मोटा कार्य तो दररोज होते रहता है. तो if we have to do that, and if I'm looking at Panchang, which is Drik Panchang, तो उसमें वो होता है ना कि हर दिन का तिथि क्या है, फिर उसके बाद में नक्षत्र, योग, करण. तो it is very difficult to get the perfect balance that everything will be good. So you send in a paper to the bank or you send in the client paper to the client. अगर तिथि ठीक है तो शायद नक्षत्र may not be right at that particular time, or during the process of that time, maybe couple of hours. या योग में नॉट बी गुड. जैसे मैं आज देख रहा हूँ, आज पंचमी है, षष्ठी उसके बाद में है, उत्तर भाद्रपदा, रेवती, ये दोनों ठीक है, सिद्ध और साध्य है. बट अगर इफ आई लुक एट करण विच इज हाफ ऑफ तिथि, आज करण है बव एंड बालव एंड देन कौलव एंड तैतिल. तो ये थोड़ा दिस कंफ्यूजेस द थिंग इन टर्म्स ऑफ should I do something or should I not do something, or wait or find out days how to do it, when to do it?
Yeah, so Mohanji, for day-to-day, right?
हाँ
I will take up like probably a 30 minutes lecture and then how to plan your day.
oh,
And I will request everyone. So first we have to go with the slide, what we are teaching. If we go further, we'll divert it from mind. So I ask, what your opinion about this? What Kunal ji said today?
oh, okay.
For today's lecture.
Yeah.
A lot of good knowledge, lots of information. Yeah, very good. I enjoyed it.
And after that, we take question answer session also. If anybody have a question, then we can answer. But at present, we will go with the course. What are we going? Anybody else? Or Kunal ji, then go further.
Yeah, and वो जो मोहन जी का क्वेश्चन था उसको जस्ट वन वर्ड आंसर. मोहन जी सारा सब कुछ छोड़ दो, तिथि देखो, ऐसा बचो, वो सारा छोड़ दो. जो भी डे टू डे काम कर रहे हो आप, सिर्फ उसका होरा देखो, क्या होरा चल रहा है, और जो कार्य कर रहे हैं आप, वो होरा की एनर्जी से मैच होता है कि नहीं होता है. या तो डे या तो होरा, वो मैच होना चाहिए. दैट्स इट. बाकी सारा सब कुछ मैच करने जाओगे तो देन यू आर ट्राई, नोबडी कैन बी दैट परफेक्ट. ठीक है.
Thank you.
Right. So now, with that first lecture, right, a lot of people ask the question that, can I become an astrologer? Or can I become a Jyotisha? Or who can learn astrology? So this is sort of, a self-retrospection that you can go and look at your chart, because there are two parts of it. The people just wants to learn as a part of curiosity. There's some occult में उनका interest होता है, which is the 8th house or the 8th lord, and they cannot apply it. They just wanted to learn, and after learning, applicability part of that knowledge is also depending on the person. जो practice करते हैं उनको एक अर्थ में, एक इनकम में कन्वर्ट करते हैं, या तो अच्छी वाले इनकम में कन्वर्ट करते हैं. So the having a knowledge and the applicability of it is completely different. So there are, certain combinations to look into your chart. There are learning combinations as well as there are practicing combinations. And it's not a comprehensive list. These are like very primary indications, primary, secondary indications in your Rashi chart only. At this moment, just stick to your Rashi D1 chart. Don't go into even Navamsha. So learning combination, Jupiter and Venus should be in some kind of yoga. Yoga is sort of sambandha. Either is a yuti, misconjunction, having a graha drashti, aspecting each other in Rashi or Navamsha. What does this indicate? हमने आगे ही सुना कि Jupiter is Guru is Parameshti, Guru is Shiva, and Venus is, can we relate it to some sort of a eyesight? Chakshu, Veda Chakshu. So it is the Jupiter's blessings on Venus, on the eyesight, that you are looking at the light of the knowledge. So Jupiter and Venus should be some kind of yoga in your Rashi chart. That is the primary indication. But even go towards the Jupiter, first of all, you need to have a learning ability, which is your Lagna or the Lagna Lord, and the Karaka, Mercury. Mercury has a Digbala in the Lagna. That has to be associated with the Jupiter. As I said earlier, right, Jupiter and Mercury yoga, it is Bhagavad Gita yoga, is a Guru Shishya yoga. And again, as we said earlier, Jyotish is associated with the which Ritu? Grishma, means summer. Summer is Agni Tattva. And who is the giver of the Agni Tattva? Prima facie. Sun, Surya gives us light and the heat, both. Versus Mars is only Agni. That is why Surya is associated with the spirituality or the knowledge along with the heat, which is like Agni Tattva. So Surya or Mangal. Why Mangal? Because it's the natural eighth lord. It should be associated with the Jupiter in the first, fifth or ninth house of the Rashi chart. So these are all the learning combinations. क्या आप अपनी एक राशि चार्ट में देखो क्या क्या आपके पास है और why you are in the first lecture of Jyotish right now here. And then will you be able to practice it? Will you be able to making a like sort of a professional astrologer? Will you have a predictive ability? Because Jyotish is not only about, learning all the principles and the concepts, etc. Right? वो तो everybody can learn it. But the main distinguished factor every Jyotisha has their own is their intuition power. It comes from the Ketu. And that intuition power going to increase when you start doing your Ganesha sadhana, because Ganesha is the Ketu. That is why I say the Ganesha sadhana is very important. If you want to learn, if you want to understand, if you want to retain and apply this knowledge and help others and help yourself with that intuition power and this study, the knowledge, do the Ganesha sadhana. There is something called AK, many of you already know, but AK is your Atma Karaka. It is a very or the most important planet in your chart, which represents your soul, and it says that why your soul has taken a birth in this life frame. AK should be linked to 3rd house or the 11th house of your Rashi chart, which is sustaining your body. And there has to be yoga between 1st and the 2nd house, because the 1st is your intelligence, your lagna, your name, your fame, and the 2nd house is the speech through which you are going to predict about it. You are going to speak about prediction, right? Because if you're practicing, the clients will come, they will ask the question, you will tell them, okay, ये होने वाला है, आप ऐसे ऐसी रेमेडी करें, आपको वो बोलना है. तो वो हम yoga between the 1st and the 2nd house, we see from the lagna, Atma Karaka and the Aruda lagna. So it will be a good, fun exercise for all of you to go and see this in your Rashi chart. But we have taken a couple of examples here. ये बीवी रामन जी का है. So all the principles, I have explained earlier. Can anyone want to take a step in BV Raman's chart? I would like you to apply this into the real chart, so your eyes become trained. You start to apply the knowledge on the chart right away, because this is a very important part. Your thought process will become like an astrologer. Anybody?
Previous slide, you can give it to everybody and they can write down some points, then they can speak it out. Previous slide.
Yeah.
They can take the screenshot of this one and then
Yeah, everybody can write down this point and then they can discuss.
Or what we can do, it's already 1.5 hours. A lot of people may have the other obligations as well. So we can take this into our WhatsApp group.
Yeah. That's
that is
better.
a good idea.
Yeah, better that way. And they can write down the points.
Correct. Is it
Correct.
for everybody?
Yeah, that is fine. But before that, I have one question. So when we are talking about conjunction, so that I mean conjunction or yoga, that Jupiter and Venus should be in yoga. So that means we are taking into consideration the drishti aspect as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Aspect is there written.
Okay.
Yeah, it is written aspecting.
Mhm.
Even Yuti, aspecting, any relation that you can find. Just
Parivartan.
explore your mind.
Right.
Whatever.
So for example, if Jupiter is in first house and Venus is in 11th house, so that means Jupiter की दृष्टि पड़ रही है 11th house पे.
नहीं क्यों पड़ेगी?
No, 11 दृष्टि नहीं, 9th होती है.
9th पे
9th,
पड़ेगा।
अच्छा हाँ.
159.
159.
नहीं, आपके पास जितना भी information I try to apply it. Don't worry about being wrong. क्योंकि आप wrong हो गए तो अब हम जाके हम कुछ आपको सिखा पाएंगे कि करेक्ट क्या है.
हाँ जी, हाँ जी. ठीक है, I think yeah we will just discuss this over the WhatsApp group. First we'll analyze what is there in the chart.
करेक्ट. तो यहाँ पे हमने 5-6 चार्ट ये लेक्चर में है. बीवी रामन जी का रखा हुआ है, मेरा है, इवन अजीत जी का है, जितेंद्र भाई का है और भावेश जी का है. Or you can take your own chart or take this chart, whichever the chart you like to have. Sounds good?
Good.
Yeah, that's right.
Let them take a picture of all the charts and have a.
There in the material. This presentation will be shared, right?
The lecture will be shared anyway.
Yeah.
And the PDF.
Yes.
They will
Actually,
get
it will be
recording and all this.
accessible through the website, correct?
Yeah, it will be.
Their account.
Yes, it will be accessible through their account into our website.
Both recording and presentation.
Correct.
So now we take 5 minutes for question answer. If anybody have any doubt.
Saturn Jupiter relationship, Jiv Shiv Yoga, is one of the prime criteria, or you can say it is very applicable for an astrologer. You can see very easily. You can say it is mostly found in many horoscopes. If you see 10 chart of the astrologer, out of 10, you will find 8 to 9 chart. Here, Jiv connection is there. We can see here also in BV Raman chart, it is opposition. Hello.
Yeah.
7th aspect to each other. In Ajit Bhai chart, Jiv Yoga is there. In Jitu Bhai chart, Jiv Yoga is there. You will find everywhere. It is very easy if you go at a glance. I don't. There are so many things. Please, one most applicable.
Okay, so I think with that, we are concluding our first lecture. This lecture and the PDF will be shared with you guys. and we will meet after 2 weeks on Sunday. But we all like to request you to be active on the study group. Come up with the questions or the queries. Again, go back, listen to this lecture 2 or 3 times. And then we are going to take this exercise in the WhatsApp study group. Okay?
Any questions on registration process? Any issues? Okay.
Okay.
So no news, good news. Everybody successfully registered.
Om Tat Sat.
Om
Namaste.
Tat Sat.
Yom Tat Sat.
Om Tat Sat.
Namaste.
Om Tat Sat.
Om Tat Sat. 11:15 p.m. already.
Yeah.